Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't tuned in yet, let's get going. Hey, Misha, how are you doing? I love the hair.
Thank you, Crystal. Love yours too.
I'm in
I just
transition.
noticed. I just barely noticed you took your braids down.
Yes, it's in transition, but I'm gonna rock with it for a minute. You know what? This is gonna be it's gonna be a great week for us. We've got a lot of new stuff happening, but let's just get into the show first. Y'all, I'm gonna start with Mirla and Gil
Ooh,
because
that's okay.
yes,
Go ahead.
because I got some crow to eat. I got some crow to eat. And
Okay.
I waited. I waited. I waited for Misha to come on here. And I still feel the same way. I still have issues with Mirla, but Gil is a gossipy little girl. I said this last night on Maria's show, and I say it again. You do not come from a get together with your boys, or you do not come, you don't talk about another couple to somebody else. You just don't do it. And him gossiping and him uh, talking about Bao and Johnny to Mirla when she wasn't there is beyond rude. It's just it's no. I gotta put my thing up there. Like, yeah, he's just squawking Gil and Moody Mirla. That's it. So that I gotta get out first. And I'm not even gonna have it streaming. I'm just gonna put it straight up there. You just squawk, 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 squawk. And it really takes away from the sweet moments that did happen because I loved him calling his mom in Colombia, but then he calls his mother and then he disparages his wife on the phone to his mother and says that she's bougie. She is bougie. We know it. We all know it. She likes things a certain way. Yes. The woman has never met Mirla. Like, don't do that. You just don't do that. So, Gil, you need to stop. Now I'm going to get into the finances. Um, okay, I have family that are immigrants that come from another country. They definitely send money home to family members. They send money, they send more money home to family members than they may have, or than they may need to. But at the same time, and I think that, him being a man and his obligation, he wants to make sure that his mother and family is taken care of. But then all your money is, um, excuse me, wrapped up in a 401k. And I didn't understand all your savings wrapped up in 401k. That
Right.
is just, huh. And I was like, did no one else talk to you about like how savings works? You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was either suspicious or naive or just a lot of the things. So I took issue with that. And I already suspected that he made less than Mirla. Like we knew that. Um, and honestly, I I still, to me, Mirla, not knowing how much a roundabout way that how much you spend in groceries, I did think that it was kind of strange because you are single. So I was like, whether it be now, I think that he underspends on groceries, maybe. Although even if he is a health nut, sometimes it's more expensive to be healthy than to eat cheaply. So I was like, 150 a month. That or every did he say every 2 weeks or something like that?
I don't
I don't
recall.
remember. At any rate, And she went real well. Sometimes it could be $100, sometimes it could be 250, sometimes it could be $50 or $45. And I said that those times when she spent 250, she could have bought a couple bottles of wine. It could have been an event. It could have been a get together.
Right.
So to me, I didn't even blink at that because you just don't know what it was that she was getting. But I do think she should know at least. Uh,
Mhm.
but Gil, you don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to questioning her about her finances. Even though we
Exactly.
don't have the money, even though we don't have the look, like we didn't get a picture of your bank account, of course not. Like we got a picture of Johnny's board, but or what's his name? Not Johnny, Jose's board. But he looked at that account. He was like, okay, okay, that's a pretty good savings. Okay, so your savings pretty good, you know. And I said, oh, Gil, you don't have a leg to stand on. If she's doing this, especially if she's going and doing this like twice or 2 or 3 times a year, at this point, let her do it. I actually think you should have a little bit more issue about the groceries than you do about the Prada or the splurges 3 times a year, because that's
Mhm.
groceries coming into the household. That's groceries that you and her are splitting, or could be splitting. But we know that you ain't gonna last, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But to me, yeah, this girl, she's not asking you to do more. She's not asking you to take care of her, but she is looking at this and saying, and she didn't even have a horrible look on her face. She was like, okay, so you're sending more money back to Colombia. And it's almost like her being Mexican, she understood. She understood, but she also was like, we can't touch that money and you're starting all over again. And that was kind of I feel like that was kind of a, not a gut punch to her, but that was like, okay, that was a realization to her and saying, we got to start all over again if this were to work. Um, so yeah, this is I'm Eating Crow. Gil is a gossipy, squawking little girl, and he just needs to stop it. Just stop. Um, but I still take issue with Marilla. She is a complainer. She's just not likable. She's still not likable. She's a complainer, um, and she's still annoying. All of those things. But you have no leg to stand on when you stop asking her about her finances. It's a moot point.
Mhm.
That's it. That's my
Yeah.
pro eat. I'm not going to do it twice. So there you go.
I am, see, this is where I was saying this whole season about them not being matched, right? And people try to, I feel like people were downing Merla for having standards, for knowing what she wants. Yes, she is a complainer. Yes, I get the aspect of how she gets on people's nerves. I totally get it, but it kind of feels like that struggle love narrative where the woman is just supposed to accept things from a man in order to get love. And Marla's like, I've worked, I've done the right things, I've saved, and you literally called this woman princess diva. You like complained, called her a toddler. You talked about her like liking designer things, and she's saving more than you. Like, and she's ready to buy a house, but she's not going to buy a house for a grown man that doesn't have any money. So, yeah, I just feel like finally people are seeing that. Here's the thing. I hate that Merla is painted as picky, as all these different names, but if Marla was a man, it would be that's his preference. He can't help himself because that's just what he likes. And if you kind of look at Jose and Marla's painted negatively, and Jose's more painted positively. Like, but they kind of have the same characteristics in a sense. But yeah, I'm first of all, he said his savings is in Colombia and it can't be touched. That is not a savings. Let's clear that up. That is not a savings. I know what it's like to have family members that aren't in the States and you want to help them out. You send them money. That is not a savings. If you are sending money to your mother to help her, to assist her, that's very commendable. But do not call it a savings. That's not what it is. And to refer to sending your money to Colombia to help your mother, and then your 401k to say, like, that's not the savings Merla's talking about. So I just feel like Gil needs to eat some humble pie. And you see the princess, the diva, those comments stopped this episode because he realized, oh shoot, I'm really not on her level, because he was equating her level as being Prada, Gucci, Fendi, being into all that stuff. So he was thinking her level was materialistic, but it's really about your motives, your intentions. If you want to have 8 kids, a house, all this stuff, you can't do that with no savings. And Merle was 100% right on that. Are you muted?
Y'all know that I do that almost every episode. I realized I had the window open and the AC on. I am not Jose or Mirla. I need to shut that down right quick. So he gave the impression that he was Jose. He gave the impression that he can call her whatever he wanted to because he was riding like Jose, and he had himself straight. And he does. I'm not saying that, having your money in the 401k is fine, but at the same time, that's not savings. That's not the type of savings. If you needed to go and put money down on a down payment on a house, she could do that right now, and you can't. And also, it concerns, well, I don't, concerns probably not the right word, y'all, but he really wants that traditional type of marriage. He wants her to take his name. He wants him to be the man in the relationship, but not if you're starting out this way. Not if you're starting out this way. It's just it doesn't work like that. And yeah, it just doesn't work like that. And it's not going to work
I
like
want
that.
to touch on their mindsets, because I honestly feel like Merla is not an emotional person. She's more of a logical thinker. So which like pointed that out to me was the fact that when she met with his friend, she's talking about, you want kids, you want a house, you want to do all this stuff, and we have to start from scratch. You don't have the finances to do that right now. He goes to Merla's friend. Has she ever kissed anyone? Has she ever been affectionate with a guy friend? Has she ever, like, he's so focused on this kiss and this hug and doing the do. It's like his mind, like their minds are on 2 different levels. Like, they're 2 different playing fields. Like, they're not even thinking, like, how are they going to be a team? How is he going to lead her if he's so caught up in things that aren't important? Like, she just told you, you need to start saving right now. And he's so worried about what her past exes, was she affectionate? Was the PDA there? And it's like, boy, because that's what he's acting like a boy. Boy, focus on the adult things that you need to be focusing on right now. Oh, you're muted.
Claudette says Mila has grease hair. She kind of does, but that's beside the point. But yes, focus on the here and now. Focus how you can connect with your wife. And now, and I hate to say it because she's still not likable. She's still a complainer, and
I like
she's still
Merla.
based
I'm
in
Team Merla.
materialist. She's still based in materialistic things, and she still wants things. Yeah, she's still based in materialistic things. But today I got all the smoke for Gil. I got all the smoke for Gil. I really think having all, and I'm like, did he come out here by himself at 14? No, he didn't come out here by him. No, he says he's been saving like that since 21 or 22. He's been sending money back home. Now, again, I've said that, like, my sister-in-law's from the Philippines. She has sent money back home. She's built 2 houses in the Philippines, and it is frustrating because her and my brother are still in an apartment here. So to that point, that's what Mila is saying. Don't do that, and then you not set up where you know how you need to be here. So
Right.
that was just crazy, and for him to be sending everything in at a Colombian bank there.
It's a different currency. So
Yes,
you gonna save $2 million in Colombia and have $10 in the US.
right.
What
It
sense
makes
does
no
that
sense.
make?
And that's what I'm like, did nobody talk to you about this? Like, that's what I said. Did he come out here by himself and no one told you that? Like, that doesn't make, if you got a 401k here, he's got to have a bank here. And somebody said they watched the Unfiltered. Well, I saw part of the Unfiltered. It was middle of the night after the show. And he was wearing some Gucci high tops. They were all white. And what's her name? The girl that runs Unfiltered, the show Unfiltered. She was like, "You like to shop too. I see these high tops. These are not cheap." And he says, "I do it once in a while, but she does it a lot more than I do." But that, to me, he should not be getting on her like that. If he even does it like once a year, and to me, that's going to cause her to, that's what's causing her not to open up. And that's that's what's making sure her legs stay locked. Man, stop it. You have no leg to stand on. So that's my
Period.
smoke. That's my smoke for Gil. Like I said, I fall on my sword on that one, but just that one. Okay. So anything else we got on them?
Last thing I want to talk about, Gil, Ryan, y'all's relationships ain't where they supposed to be. So when y'all get in these little huddles, when you get in these little guy chats, couple chats, mind your business.
Yes.
I'm just tired of seeing Gil and Ryan every time it's time to talk about somebody's relationship. Well, does it do this? Well, does it mean this? Does it mean, boy, focus on what you guys got going on. That's what I'm tired of seeing.
No, that's what I opened with. That is my biggest pet peeve. The fact that Gil came back to the apartment and he was like, "Oh, well, how was your dinner? And we was like, we're girls. We sit around, we talk, we chat. That's it." And he was like, "How was yours? What'd you guys talk about?" I was like, "You sound like a little gossipy little girl, like a little."
He was being a tattletale. He over there
Yes.
tattletaling. Well, Johnny said, blah, blah. I was like, boy, and he's he's not getting it. Merla is not into him. Merla will probably never be into him because she knows she's not what he wants, or he's not what she wants. But he's thinking, because we're sitting here gossiping, she called me handsome, we're getting somewhere. No, she can think you're handsome and still not want you.
We're gonna talk about that a little later. But what did you think? It's so weird to me seeing their dinner parties and seeing how yes, we're attracted to each other. And yet I don't like when people put on this facade that everything's cool and it's really not. And I get that, of course, when you're in at a housewarming or a dinner party or something like that, but they look at each other and they're like, "Yeah, we're attracted to each other. Yeah, everything's going great." It's not though. But it's not though.
That's what I didn't like about Michaela this episode. When she met with the girls, she sat there on hush mode. And my whole thing, see, I don't like that narrative to begin with. Even when people get on social media and they're posting all these pictures, I'm so happy, and your husband's cheating, he got a baby on the way with somebody else, and you trying to paint this image like you're so happy. And you don't have to post your business as far as the negatives, but to try to paint it like everything is so peachy and it's a beach and fairy tale with unicorns, and there's other people struggling in this group as well. So you guys coming together, you guys can actually help each other by getting through your problems, but you have so much pride and you want to act like everything is so fine and dandy that you're missing out on getting where you need to be. That's why I commend Johnny. I commend Johnny for having that vulnerable moment, because you see where he kind of had a moment of accountability in that moment where he was like, why am I so negative? Why am I trying to find everything wrong with her? So I appreciated that part of him opening up and being vulnerable in the group.
Yeah, you basically took the words right out of my mouth on both couples. Like, and that's one of the things I definitely said. I totally appreciate Johnny. I don't know who we're even going to next because you covered Johnny
Right?
and
Jumped
then
to
you did, and
five
but you
different.
also covered my huge thing with Michaela, and I mentioned this to Tia Maria last night, is that she knows how to turn it on and turn it off. Like sitting at that dinner party with the at the housewarming and with the polka dot dress, very pretty dress with the blue earrings. And I was like, you got that corporate smile. You are
Yes.
frustrated and you are not happy, but she just knows how to serve and service and just like, and then sitting at the dinner party with the girls, I was like, I can't believe you right now. Like you're just keeping your mouth shut. On one end, I didn't mind her necessarily keeping her mouth shut because out of respect for him, she's not, because you get around just like she didn't pull a Gil, whereas he's not here. Let me disparage him to the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So because all these ladies know each other, so no matter what, she could have painted Zach in a bad light to the other married women, but at the same time, they're asking you, as you just said, how is your relationship going? How are things going? And even Bao was a little transparent to say, we're not really getting along. It's like we got along good in the beginning. Like even Bao, like was a little bit open about it. Like you could have opened up and said, we got into an argument and stuff. You could have done something, but you just keeping your mouth shut and it was apparent that something was going on because you're such an expressive person. You're such an outspoken person, but then you're just sitting there with your mouth shut. It looked like something was wrong. Anyway, who are we even talking about next? We can go back.
Let's just go to Michaela and Zach.
You
Like,
want to go
why
into the
not?
smoke? Okay,
Why not?
girl.
So, first of all, when Michaela had that revelation, she talked to Zach's friend for 5 minutes and she comes back with, you feel this, you feel that, don't you? And blah, blah, blah. I was like, this girl is a psycho, because you knew you were wrong, you knew you were hurting him. Like, I watched Kev on Stage and Mrs. Kev on Stage, their review, and he had a point that Michaela is tit for tat. So you left, you didn't tell me, so I'm gonna pack my bags and leave. Zach wasn't trying to hurt her, but she is intentionally trying to hurt him. You sit there with Pastor Cal, you come to this supposed resolution. Then when it's time to do the housewarming, I don't want to do that. And it's like, it's so tit for tat. Like, she's purposely trying to hurt him. And I really think something, like, people have hinted at her being bipolar, because she doesn't have like a middle ground. She doesn't have a normal. It's either really high or really low. But I was just like, she's crazy. And the fact that Zach don't even feel comfortable sleeping there. He said, I'm not even gonna sleep in the same place as you. Like, I've definitely feel like some things happen that they did not show. So, because, yes, I think more has happened that they didn't show. But I just think she's trying to be so tit for tat. She's doing that toxic love. And Zach is like, I don't want no parts. But what I will say for Zach, I did not like how when he mentioned his exes, he put all of the blame on his exes. My exes were the reasons this didn't work. They did the same thing she's doing. And I didn't like his lack of accountability, because it could not have been every single woman has all the issues and you're so perfect. So that I didn't like. And I feel like he's kind of using that as an excuse to leave and just kind of be done with it, which it's hard because I feel like she's intentionally doing things to hurt him. But then on the same side, I feel like he is trying to like use any reason as a scapegoat. I feel like him and Johnny are on the same plane as far as they're ready to go. They've seen enough and this is not what they want. So yeah.
Okay, there's so much with Michaela and Zach, and I know you touched on them having her maybe bipolar, but I want to go all the way back to, and I did watch a part of Unfiltered. Uh, it was in the middle of the night, so Unfiltered was watching me at one point. But um, she said that was a so the girl, I think her name's Jamie Otis. She said, "So what level was that? Was that Hurricane K?" And she said, "Yes, that was not the full hurricane, but that was like at a 3." And Gil, the fireman, he was sitting there too, and he was like, Jamie Otis said, "How big do hurricanes get?" And he said, "To a 5," like that. So, okay, so you're sitting next to the fireman, so he knows that hurricanes get to a 5. And if that was a 3, then we got some issues here. So she said a couple of things, but I want to go back. So, Zach, so after they leave Pastor Cal, um, so they get in the car. I don't know if they came. They must have come separately because he said we get from Pat. We leave Pastor Cal's, and she sends him a text message saying, "I'm canceling the housewarming, and my friends aren't coming." And so at that point, he thinks that everything's resolved in front of Pastor Cal. So at that point, he's like, "This girl is up and down. This is a roller coaster. I'm frustrated. I'm done. And it's going to be a lot of this arguing. It's going to be a lot of these hurricanes coming. And I'm done." So watching Unfiltered, she said, "That's not true. That's not what happened. We went to get something to eat, and she still wanted to talk about it. And he was like, 'Not right now. I'm eating.'" So that's why she canceled it. But to me, I still think that canceling it was too big of that's too big of a shutdown. If he didn't want to, he'd already had it looked like an hour session with Pastor Cal where everybody's crying, everybody's emotional. He at that point, him being a man, and I'm not even going to put this on him being a man, but like he at that point, Charlie just wanted to get something to eat and just like not does not talk about it right now. And he was just like, "Not right. Let's eat, and let's just kind of let the dust settle." I think that's what he really wanted. But he said, "Not right now. I'm eating." He even said, I do need to work on my communication skills. I do need to communicate better." But her reactions and her blowing up so quickly is the issue. So then she changes her mind. And I said this the other night. The reason why she changed her mind is because she sat there with the other ladies, and there's like, "Oh, we're getting barbecue from Lucille's," and, "Oh, I'm Mexican, so we're gonna have a fiesta." Like she's seeing her and all the other housewarming festivities, and how all the other ladies are just like cheesing and smiling. And she said, "Oh, well, maybe we should reconsider this." And so that's when she started to reconsider, and she's like, "Oh, well, maybe I should be a little bit nicer and stuff, and maybe I should put on a pretty dress." And he is a good man. And so now that she's seeing how everybody else is doing, so that's when she starts to change her attitude. So, but Zach is still mentally, he's still there because he's like, this escalated too quick. You went from 0 to 100 over a misunderstanding after really being married, what, a week, two, what is it been, has it even been 2 weeks yet, as not even seeing each other most of the time because of COVID, and now us getting back together. And a lot of people were getting on him saying how the fact that he said, "Oh, I can't wait till our first fight." That's not what he meant. He said he was really trying to say it's how we resolve the fight and how we
Right.
resolve
He
the
wants to
issues.
see how she solves it.
Right. And that's if that's how she solves it, then he doesn't even want any part of that. And just what you said earlier, this girl can turn it on and turn it off. She's smiling. She knows how to put on a pretty dress and fix her hair and be that smiling, cheery person. But, and she did take the blame, but after the fact, after you've blown up, after you canceled and then rescheduled, um, then you want to say, "I'm sorry, I don't know what I can do to fix this." And now you want him to get over it. To me, a lot of people said that Zach is too immature to be married. He's only 27, all of these things. I actually think he showed a lot of maturity, saying, "I really need to think about this. This was a lot in 2 days. And if this is how you always are with everybody, I don't know that I can do this. I don't know that I can commit to forever." I actually respect him for that. I truly respect him for that. Um, but going back to the friends, I don't know where her sisters were. Because you asking these little work friends if this is how she always is, I was like, they're either lying or they don't know her at all.
They were lying, and that's what I was wondering, because it seemed like the sisters were on her side. To
Yes.
me, that's what I picked up. So I was like, why wouldn't she invite them? That's what was weird to me.
Yeah, on her side, but they also were the ones that diagnosed the Hurricane K, named it Hurricane K. So they can give him much more of a visual or and how what to do in those situations. But those people that he could really count on to give him more of an insight weren't there. And going back to the first thing you said about him not even putting all any of the blame or accountability on the exes, sweetheart, you need a mirror. If all or the majority of your exes are like that and pop off like that has less to do with them and more to do with you. You really have to, it's one thing to have one ex like that and you're seeing the same traits in an ex that you didn't like, but several, there's some issues there that you really have to investigate. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I forget who pointed it out. I think it was Chindy, but she pointed out that he really doesn't have a long extent of dating experience. Like he's never really been in a long-term relationship. So that's the first issue, but for him to not take accountability, like even that was that was a dating tip somewhere. I heard somewhere, but if you ask someone, why are you single? What happened in your last relationship? And they put it all on the ex, that's a huge red flag. So I definitely saw that as a red flag with him. Like, I don't think, but there's a difference in them. I see kind of a similarity, but a difference. I think she is spiteful and she does things intentionally to hurt him and get at him. And I think he does things maybe due to lack of experience or just his age. I want to blame his age, but we're all molded and shaped by our experiences. It seems like his experiences aren't really there yet for him to like be molded by them. But yeah, I think that he's in some areas he's definitely showing his age, but I get where he was coming from with Michaela, because a lot of people are like, I'm scared of her too. I wouldn't want to sleep under the same room as her too. So yeah.
So two things I want to ask about. So Mimi just said me just said. Also, passive men often get with aggressive women because those women are the ones to go after them. I
Yes.
actually, I to a point, a more quiet or introverted man or a passive man really does like that outspoken woman because that's not him, and that's what he's kind of attracted to. But and this is something that we were talking about um, I think it was Kenny was talking about last night, is that his mother is more of the of she's the matriarch of the family, and he really sees his mother as not aggressive, but he sees his mother as the stronger, dominant person in the relationship between his mother and father, and he's kind of gotten that outspoken woman like his mother. Um, that's what I thought, and I don't dispute Mimi, but that's what I thought. Yeah,
I
and
yeah, I also think that passive men go for aggressive women because they don't have the leader qualities in themselves to make decisions that can affect the whole household. They don't take accountability well. So I think that plays into it too. Like, I don't like, we all see kind of leadership qualities in Jose, and I don't know about the rest of them, but definitely in Jose, I see leader qualities, but I don't see him in Zach. I
I
don't,
don't
and
either.
that's why I said before, she's gonna have her way with him. She's gonna take him on a field day because that's what women do around, I hate to say weak, but weak men. That's what they're gonna do.
Zach is more the sensitive, creative piano playing type, and
The
we all know
piano
that
playing.
he's Mr. Sensitive Piano Man. But besides that, I want to ask Tia this too because um, someone else touched on this that um, when Dr. Pepper, it was Dr. Pepper first did her home visit with Michaela, she had that one night stand, or I don't even know if it was a one night stand with she said it was a longtime friend, and the fact that she does these things as a constant need for attention and a constant need for to have
That's
somebody
good.
around her or
Yeah.
with her, she it's a constant need um for affection,
Mhm.
or to be seen, and she'll get it however she wants to get it, whether she thinks that having a tantrum and a blow up. And I really want to know what you guys think of that, because I think that that's it. I think that unless he's right there, she won't believe him. She still wanted to talk about it even after they left Pastor Cal. She still was in her feelings, and Zach is the kind of guy who's like, okay, it's over. I'm done with. Let's like be happily married right now. And she was still in it, and because of that, first I was thinking that Zach wouldn't let it go, and that's why he left. But I'm like, no, this is Michaela. This is she's used to manipulating. She's used to
Right.
getting her way, and she's seeing that she's not getting her way, and she does not know how to handle it. Like her crying in the kitchen, and I didn't know that I shouldn't change the housewarming. He didn't tell you to change the housewarming, and then why would you change it? Okay,
I
I
agree with
appreciate that
that.
though. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I agree with that about her needing attention because if you notice, they were fine that those first 2 or 3 days. As soon as he got COVID and she had to leave, that time gap, it's like he came back and she's just this doing all these tit for tat things, trying to get so much attention out of him. So yeah, I think yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, the
What?
nail on the head. Yes, and it was Kojo and Sean that was saying that mentioned that repeated that, and I was like, huh, because I really didn't, I was one of the people that was like, it was a one night stand. It's no big deal, you guys. Let it go. But now that we're seeing all of this, And knowing that, they have consummated within, and really they're the ones that hadn't really spent a lot of time together, and they consummated before they got to the honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
So that constant need for the display of love, or whatever, she probably doesn't even know what her love language is. So yeah, and I agree with you, Tia. I appreciate the fact that Zach has been holding his own and not letting Michaela run all over him. And I saw it. I said, when she was crying in the kitchen, I said, he's gonna fold, and he did not fold. So I was like, good, Zach. And on one hand, I was like, oh, did you pull a Johnny and leave? But at the same time, I was like, you know what? Like Johnny, I kind of understand. I get it. You need to take a minute. Hmm. Yeah, I think that constant need for attention, and her, one night standing, and doing all of these things. That's. Hmm.
Yep, I I totally agree with all of it. I think that he's now just keeping his distance. Even when he came over for the housewarming, it didn't even seem like he was coming to his own house. It seemed like he was one of the guests, and they had this awkward hug, and I was just like, okay, like this is weird. He looked at the setup. It looked like he was surprised by the setup. Like, oh, are we having a charcuterie board? I didn't know. Like he just had this look like
He's been
it
staying
wasn't
away.
his
It looked
house.
like
It
he'd
wasn't
been.
his party.
Right, it wasn't his party, and then literally as soon as and I don't know if he was standing outside or what, but the girl said, "Well, where's your husband during all of this?" And he walked in right after. Again, we know timelines with production, how they can be kind of
Right.
busy, but he walked in and he said, "Thank you for doing all of this." But he's been staying away and giving her space, and him taking his space so he can think about this. And I
Mhm.
do appreciate his friend. Um, because his friend did not, I know this might not be the right word, but his friend did not gaslight her. His friend did not say, "Oh yeah, Zach told me about your argument." He didn't do any of that. He
Mhm.
actually was a very calm and rational listening post for her. And
Mhm.
she took accountability, but did she really? And I agree with Zach. Like, you need to like really think about this. But he's totally starting to detach. He's pulling, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't that's like I said before, I didn't get like I feel like the way Michaela painted it was like I talked to your friend, I got this revelation that the way I've been doing things is so wrong and it hurt you and I'm sorry and I just feel like that was so fake. Like that the things you were doing were hurting him, you're intentionally trying to hurt him because that's a fast turnaround to be in denial that you did anything wrong and have this little sit down with his friend. Now you just had this come to Jesus moment and you just want to repent for all your sins. It did not. It was a quick turnaround and it didn't make sense to me. So I
And
just, yeah.
And you even said it a couple weeks ago, the fact that, and that's what Tia was saying here, is that the fact that Michaela, yeah, she likes attention. That's why she got angry that he got COVID. Like, why are you getting angry? And then she mentioned this last episode, oh, well, sickness and health. I was like, what are you talking about? You're upset that you didn't get to wear your bathing suits,
And
and
what did she do to prove that she stuck beside him through sickness and health?
And the weird thing is, and I was watching Kevin and Melissa's show, and they were saying, it just seemed like that she wanted to stay there, but I don't know that she really put up a huge fight, and maybe she couldn't. Maybe that's what production was like. Nope, it's best that we have you leave. So she left, but it was very, it was not surprising. It just didn't. She didn't do anything. And she just loves to. She isn't she she's from Houston. She's a quick with the cuss out. She's quick with the FUs.
I hate that part about her. It is so cringy because I just think that it's your every man is not going to just respect every woman. It's your job to give a man something to respect. So if every time you get upset you start cussing, then he starts cussing back. It's just, it's so, I hate it. I just hate that she does that because it's so disgusting to me to see her like, it's not, yeah, I don't, you're supposed to have respect and love for your partner, and what are you cussing for? Like
What are you cussing
the
for?
things she's mad about are not that deep to be cussing about. So it's, yeah.
And the sad thing is, and she's done it so much that in the beginning of this show, does she even realize that she can get her point across without doing that? And I don't think that she can. She doesn't. I don't think that she thinks so. I think that she thinks, oh, I need to do this to show strength, or you know, to puff up my chest a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and Tia was saying, to be fair, Zach, he is not having issues with Michaela because she is not meeting his idea of perfection. He sees that her behavior is a problem that he can't and shouldn't try to fix. I don't think he wanted her to be perfect though. I don't think, we can get into like, and people having ideas of perfection with Bao and Johnny. I don't know. I just don't think that, because he even said it's not having the argument, it's how we resolve the argument. I don't know that I don't know about that. I don't know about that. What do you
I
think
think
about
his battles are very different than Johnny and Bao, because I think that, I don't think he, I don't know, I don't know if we really know if he wants her to be perfect or if he has this image of a wife. I really don't know that, but I do know that it seems like the issues are centered around her reactions and her impulses and her having these really high highs, these really low lows, and to pack up your bags and leave because you're upset, to cancel the housewarming because you're upset. That's very irrational.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I think that's what he's like really struggling with her versus Johnny and Bao. Yeah, it just it seems, I could definitely see Johnny has this idea of who he's supposed to be with and how they're supposed to be intimate and all these things, and he's not getting that. So I definitely see that side from Johnny, but Zach, I don't know yet.
Amaya said that his issue with her is he had girlfriends girlfriends allegedly that were like this, and he doesn't want to repeat his toxic cycle. Yes and no. I think that, again, if you've had girlfriends plural that are like this, um, there's something going on with you that you keep picking this type of woman. Uh, but at the same time, you are a quiet guy. He is not confrontational like that. I do think that he does need communication. He does have communication issues. Um, but at the same time, the fact that you keep picking, if you are a quiet guy that's Mr. Sensitive Piano Playing Man, but you keep choosing these aggressive, angry women that blow up, you might need a mirror, bro. You might need to just, you say, you know what,
Yeah.
that's probably, I need to not pick that type of woman. I need to pick a woman that likes to play instruments as well and listen to jazz. That's not Michaela. Um, okay. So Tia was saying, I wrote that because you said his friend said he wanted perfection. I said that his issue with her is her behavior, not some idea of perfection. I got what you're saying. Yes. Her behavior, yeah, is not some
Yeah,
idea of
I didn't
perfection.
say.
It truly
Did you
is.
say that? I didn't.
No, I might have mixed up what Tia was saying.
Oh.
I'm reading aloud, but you're right. You're right. Um, her behavior, her blowing up, her reactive behavior, slamming things, and we were talking about this really quickly last night. Women can be batterers too. I work at a women's resource center, that there are women that are batterers too, and there are abusive women too, and um, we really have to look at that. That in the fact that Johnny is noticing these red flags, that's a good thing. And he needs to really take heed. We had, again, and I've been sound like a broken record, last season, we had a woman that saw blaring red flags and did nothing about it. Every day there was something new. Every day there was an emotional roller coaster that who took her all around, and she kept wanting to stick beside him. And uh to what's his name, Zach's point, he's like, if this is going to keep going like this, I'm going to get off this roller coaster now before it gets worse. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So should we move on to Johnny and Bao?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Where do we begin? First of all, that book that the friend gave her about the papaya,
Yes.
he said, eat papaya. I was like, is he speaking figuratively, or I don't know where he was going with that. I think he meant he don't eat dirty papaya, but
I don't know. Is this? What kind of fruit is this? Oh, I don't eat papaya.
Ciao. I was like, what is going on? I don't know, they look nice at the housewarming together. I didn't like the little takeout containers all over the counter like that, but they looked nice. His moment of being vulnerable with the guys and letting them know, like, I don't see. Here's the thing. I think I love Johnny's assertiveness. I feel like some of like the giddiness comments, I feel like there's things that are more important than that. So like the shower thing, and I think there's other red flags that are more important. And even when he said, why am I trying to find everything that's wrong with her? So I do feel like here's the thing too. I want to go back to Bao. I feel like Bao, when she sat down with her friend, she had all these things that she didn't like that Johnny did, but she never said it to Johnny, or at least we didn't see that. And so my whole thing with Bao is I wish she would be more assertive as Johnny, so it doesn't seem like Johnny's just beating up Bao, like with everything he doesn't like about her. I wish she would speak up as well, because Johnny's not perfect, and maybe that would help him with the not humbling himself, but being more realistic with himself. And I think if she said, you know what, well, I don't like this, I don't like that, then he would have something to work on as well. But when it's just coming from Johnny that you turn me off when you do this, that, and the other, I think I wish she would be a little bit more assertive with him. But I don't know. I don't for them to ask him, are you attracted to her? And for him to say somewhat, I was like, this is not good. You muted.
Girl, that just made me sad. And I was just telling you last night, like, this is it's sad, because I'm going to go all the way back. You're right. Bao's meeting with the friend, and she's spilling all of this to the friend, but she keeps all of the things inside. And you're right. There are more things that are more important, but I think that the showering, her just he calls it sucking the life out of everything. Her being um, you know, I guess he thinks of it as complaining, and she needs to just relax and have fun. Like her being upset about the snoring or extra sensitive about the snoring. He's like, I was just joking, like relax. And I think there are more things more important, like the showering and stuff. But I think it's so compound, like it's one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. And by this time, like okay, I just got over the snore. No, yeah, I just got over the snoring when you hit me with the non-showering. Then I got over the non-showering. Now you hit me with the like you're always like so giddy. I think he wants like a kind of a sophisticated, like not sophisticated, but like um more of a feminine, like a sexy type of a woman at 35, or I think she's between what 33 and 35, and she's kind of kiddish, like he said, or that's what she thinks is feminine, and it's on top of everything. And someone was saying that he's not attracted to her. That I think that he said no. He said I am physically attracted to my wife,
Right.
but
It's a personality.
yes, but now everything else, if all he's saying is he's finding all the negatives. Now all the negatives come in. When he saw her walking down the aisle and they started to see everything in common, he was all in. Now all of the negatives, she has hit him with so many negatives the first week. That's all he's seeing is the negatives. That's all he's seeing is I'm not attracted. Um, and I appreciate the fact that he is so honest. I wish she would be honest too. And her just and I feel like she is the struggle love type of person. She's like, he's not attracted to me, but I'm still gonna stick with it. Just like our friend last season, he's not attracted to me. He doesn't like the way I act and say, kiss please, and say, but I'm gonna stick with it. She doesn't want to like, okay, well, maybe I should. And I don't think that I've never been an advocate for a woman changing her personality, but do you recognize that you do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you recognize that you do you have these certain quirks? And change it up a little bit, not change your personality, but change, that type of thing that you do, like jumping on the bed and just like that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is her personality. I just feel like Johnny is not attracted to her type of temperament, I guess. And I don't know that he can get over this. Like, this is so many things. She has hit him with so many things. I don't think that he wouldn't have gotten over. I think that he would have been all in. And I think Johnny has his own issues. I think that as we said, Johnny would have been left if there was the littlest thing, he would have been left. But he can't leave now. Now he's married and he's like, oh my gosh, what did I get into? And I appreciate the fact that he's like, maybe it's me. Maybe because I can't get over these things, maybe I'm not ready to be married. Maybe because these are insurmountable, I'm not ready to get married. And her saying, but she's not taking any brunt of this. Maybe she's like, no, I'm not going to shower. What? Like, he just wanted somebody, like, and he even said, I just wanted one thing and you wanted all of these things, but you don't think that any of these things you'd want to compromise on. I don't dispute people saying, well, Johnny was never attracted to her and Johnny doesn't like her, so it's Johnny that has the issues. But at the same time, I think that she has hit him with so much so fast, and he would have been able to, get over certain things. But I just think it was just so much. And I feel really bad for him. I feel bad for Bao too, because she's going to stick with it. And this is not stick withable. Like, I know it's not a word, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, and a lot of people were saying, well, he's attracted to her. He's just going to sleep with his wife and now they're going to have sex, but they still don't like each other. Or I don't know. Go ahead. I'm going to think of something else. Go ahead. There's so much.
Yeah, yeah. I'm I don't know. It's a lot. I definitely agree with Shindy that she is kind of taking the submissive Asian wife role. And I think and what was she raised by her grandparents? I think she was raised by her grandparents. I think I don't remember if she said who she was raised by or not.
Her mom was at the
But I
wedding. That was
think
her mother and grandmother, I thought.
okay, maybe I think she was raised by a single mother. I think that's what it was.
Did I see her
But
father? Did her father? I don't remember her father. I thought her father was there.
I
Johnny's
don't.
father wasn't, but I don't remember her
Yeah.
father. I'll have to look back. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I don't know if she seems very traditional, but what I was saying thinking is I don't know if she's ever seen a like successful relationship, a healthy relationship, a relationship with good communication. But yeah, I think she's very traditional because even when like we talked about it before when her eyes light up when she's like talking about her culture and I'll speak Vietnamese to your dad and things like that. So I think she's very like a traditional woman. I have no clue what's in Johnny's head for his ideal wife because it does seem like he wants some of the qualities that Bao has. So I'm not fully, yes, as far I'm speaking about physical attraction, sexual attraction. I understand she can be a head case sometimes, but I'm more so talking about like physically, sexually. I don't know what he's looking for. I do agree that Bao is a buzz killer because we've seen him trying to have these intimate moments with Bao and she starts laughing or she she's just or she starts talking about the dang snoring as a teenager and he's trying to have an intimate moment with her. So I don't know because it seemed like the sexual attraction and physical attraction was there in the beginning, then all these things started happening. Now he's like, I'm getting more of a friend vibe from her, and I really think he just said that to be nice because you want to be around your friends bring you joy. They're fun to be around. So if she's giving you friend vibes, then why don't you want to be around her? Like,
No, I agree. I think it's just so much, and I even pointed out that scene. It was so obvious. He's trying to get a little intimate, or just like get it. Like he didn't even want sex at that point. He just wanted to kiss his wife, and she starts talking about the snoring. He wanted to, and then he wanted to go deeper on the kiss, and she starts laughing. And I think that maybe she's nervous, but it comes off. It doesn't comes off. It doesn't come off as nervous. It comes off as kitty to him, and and maybe he's
mm-hmm,
interpreting it wrong. That's totally plausible that he's totally interpreting it wrong, but nevertheless, it's turning him off. And I do remember he always
mm-hmm.
got like sisterly vibes from her, but he was attracted to. So don't do you remember when they had the beach scene and he did the roses and the prosecco and the whole thing?
Right.
I feel like
Things
all
switch
of
fast.
it switched fast. It all happened like he was saying he like poured his heart out. He got all choked up, and he said, "I really like you." Like he's really saying how much he's really interested. He really wants this to work. All of those things, and I feel like that night is when she said, "Please don't tease me about the snoring."
Feelings is mutual.
And then the next day, she talks about the shower, and I'm like, Val, stop doing this. And but so I feel like they did have it in the beginning, but
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, but you can do that to yourself. I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I hope they work it out. I don't know. I don't know. I was very hopeful for them. Now that all this stuff is coming out, I don't know. But next episode, it seems like she has her breaking point with him, is what I kind of sense from that scene where she's like, F no. And it was like, finally, Bao. And I hope she's not one of those. She probably is one of those people that holds things in and then just blows up. Because for her to have the whole snoring thing and then to kind of hold that and take it, that's what she seems like. She holds things in, she carries it, she never really lets it go. So we'll see next episode what she's snapping about.
So yeah, Tia said I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think so either. And they were really the ones that we were holding out for. But what's interesting is, Misha, you got that from the preview, and we got something different. We got that we thought that they had sex.
Really?
Yeah, Tia, we're gonna have to.
I'm talking about the scene where she's at the table and she's like, F no, like she's clearly like upset about something. And I don't know what they were talking about, but you just see her react.
You're
So
right.
that's what I'm talking about.
I hear you. I remember that now. She's like, this is the time when we would get divorced. If there's we don't know what he said before that to say the subject about the divorce, or this is the time when we would separate and we would just like, leave the show and just separate. And she's like, F no. She said no. She wanted to stick beside him. She wanted to stick it out.
Let's stick beside him.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick beside him. I didn't remember this. I know that she said that a lot of her relationships started the physical and then don't last. And we thought that that was really strange that she had said this. So her being engaged, I really want to investigate that, because if she's been engaged 3 times and again, she didn't look at what happened or what was the issue in any of those engagements, that's to me is a red flag. That sounds very interesting that you'd be engaged 3 times. Huh. Yeah. I don't think any of these couples are going to last at all. It's sad because they were the ones that we were really rooting for sure.
Okay, so we have Rachel and Jose. What are your thoughts on them?
Okay. My thoughts on Rachel and Jose, Mr. Micromanager. He won't let her pick out her own flowers. And
Or you let her cook. She's a master. He's a master in the kitchen, master chef, whatever she said. I'm like, go ahead, Rachel.
But I appreciate the fact that she's like, I'm going to get him to Europe. We're going. But now I do think that her priorities are still, excuse me, her priorities are still not right. But at the same time, this man is a micromanager. This man needs to just let go of some of the reins. And she needs to find out who she is in this marriage, because if he keeps trying to take over, it's not going to be good. Also, I am so annoyed with this stepmother. Stop talking. This stepmother is so annoying. She really wants to be up in the camera. She just wants to be up in the camera. She wants to be part of the show. She wanted to be at Married First Sight season 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the whole scene at the housewarming. I felt like, I don't know, I felt like, what is her name? Rachel. I can't hear you.
This is my board. Did you see my board? I got everything mapped out.
Oh,
I got everything. I got check boxes. I need to have boxes checked at a dinner party, at a housewarming. I'm gonna have boxes checked. That's it.
I cannot. I was like, she just disappeared. Oh, I guess that's hilarious. But I felt like I could see Rachel's kind of energy changing at the housewarming when he kept going on and on about how like she spends money and yada yada. She had this look like, when all these people leave, I'm gonna cuss you out. And so yeah, what did you think about how he was just going on and on in front of their family?
Well, I think that one of the producers asked him that, because asked them the family members, or asked them to say something, because they kept asking. They're like, "No, it's going good," and he's like, "Now him, I believe when he was saying, you know what, everything I could have asked for, I got. Like this is just exceeded my expectations." They wanted to have that type of get together. They wanted to have a Mexican
Right.
fiesta like that. But then they kept asking, like the guy, I guess it was Rachel's friend, kept saying, "So there haven't been any arguments? So how's everything been going?" I was like, I said, "They've asked 3 times now." And so I said, "Oh, the production asked them to like pry and to ask them how things are going." I said, "There haven't been any arguments. There hasn't been any disagreements." So I think that the production or something, ask them about things, ask them about
Right.
the ins and outs of their relationship. But I do think he could have just left it at, we do have some different ideas. Sometimes she just wants to go have fun, and you guys know how I am about finances. They could have just left it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, they asked them questions, and so take all of that with the to take all of that with a grain of salt, like Amaya said. You have to take all, because he is he is always going to go to that board. He is always going to, it's almost like, I think that's where he gets off. Like, he doesn't watch porn, like I said. He watches FICO scores. He watches his credit score and gets off. Like, he they know they know what button to push to get the storyline. So
Right.
this guy, yeah, they were like, "Finances, what's going on with finances?" And so she wants to keep it light. "I'm gonna get him to Europe. We're going to, oh no, let's take all of this from the bills and now let's do this." Like, yeah. But I also think that she's oversharing.
Yeah, I what did you think about him like having his eye on Johnny throughout the chat and having to watch where he's going? Oh, Johnny went to the bathroom. Let me follow him. Let me give him a hug. And I was like, you never even hug Bao like that. And you over here hugging this man like that. I don't know what's going on between the two of
They
them.
got a boy crush on each other. Like, let it go. So to me, I think that they have gotten to be real friends. Like, these guys are just, sitting around. None of them really know Zach, because Zach wasn't, they know Zach is the younger guy. They know Zach is the cool guy, but they don't know him because, during the COVID, he was stuck in the hotel room. But I feel like that maybe they've really, become really good friends or something like that. You're right. He doesn't even hug Bao like that. But I do think that Johnny started tearing up at the table. I take notice of stuff like that. Like, he had his glasses to the back. I said, Johnny's a really cool guy, but I thought he, how they pulled him away and had to get his talking head. Johnny, I think, started tear up or something that they had to cut at the
Mhm.
table. So what's his name? Jose took notice of it. I don't think it's a crush like everybody else is thinking. Like a lot of people are wondering about Mr. Jose.
Yeah.
But but I do think that he really did. He knows this is much harder on Johnny than a lot of other people, and we don't know why, because we all thought that, and I think that Jose is like, I thought they were getting along. It sounds like they're not getting along, and
Mhm.
and that's it for now. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I got my eye on them too. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying. But yeah,
I'm not
that's
saying
all
nothing. I'm just saying.
that's all I had for them this episode. That's all I can really remember for them. Ryan and Brett, it's like the same thing every week. What I will say is I feel that Brett is putting more effort. You know, it looked like she got her hair done. She looks like she's been wearing more makeup, and she looks like she even has been changing her outfits a little bit. So I think she is trying to physically like draw Brett in, not Brett, Ryan in, but I think he's already physically drawn. I don't think the physical is really their issue per se, because he seems like he is attracted to Brett. He seems like he is down for having sex with her. He seems like he's okay with that. But I think they're probably just lacking in their actual emotional connection. She seems really giddy over him, and I don't know, he smiled with the guys. Like, I literally watch the episodes and count how many times he smiled, and he literally only smiled with the guys. He smiled with his friends at the housewarming, but her by herself, I don't see him smiling. But yeah, that's all I really got for them.
I think it's the same as Johnny right now. I think that he is physically attracted to his wife. Not think. He said it at the table with the boys. He's when Johnny was saying that about Bao, I'm physically attracted to my wife, but she's not my type. He co-signed on it. What's his name? Ryan. He was like,
Yeah,
I
it was like
totally
he
get that.
understood what he was saying.
I get
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. I get it. Yep, I understand. I get what you're saying. Like but same thing with her. When he goes on vacation, he wants to go skydiving and catamaran and doing all this crazy stuff, and she goes on vacation to relax. And I said this when I was watching it. I said these are conversations that you have with somebody while dating and getting to know them. That this person's a homebody. I'm more adventurous. I don't like to fly, but that's okay, and those are things that you get used to. And he has had zero time to get used to that. And then now they've jumped into it. And his type of girl would be somebody that's more adventurous and looks like Taylor Swift. But besides that, his type of girl would be just a little bit more adventurous, and she's not. So she's either going and to her point, he needs to relax on it, because what she said is like, that's not normally my cup of tea, but if you want me to do it, I'll do it. I'll try it. So at least she got in the canoe. Like, it's not something that she would normally do. Not like Miss Mirla that had a fit the whole time, and really it looked like he had to convince her to get into the plane and stuff. But she's like, okay, if you want me, that's not my cup of tea, but I will do it. And so she did it. So I feel like, oh no, she totally has a crush on him. She's totally into her husband. He's not there yet. And and it's going to take more than sex. And we all know that you may think that sex is good. And I said this the other night, well, maybe Val needs to just have sex with Johnny. And I'm not saying I don't think that's the answer. But I do think that Johnny wants to know that that his wife can be feminine, and his wife maybe they do need to see it. He needs to see a different side of Bao. I know I've skipped to a different couple, but he needs to see a different side of Bao.
That's true.
That's what I mean by have sex with her, or she needs to show a different side of her. She needs to show a different, like, more sophisticated, more side of herself, and she's not showing that. Yeah, and oh no, there was no cure. There's no cure, like, and I don't think sex is
It's
the
like
cure.
it ignited things for them, because once that happened, she started acting crazy.
But to our point, like, now you've given your body to this man, and you weren't truly sure about him. Off the second day, and or second or third day. And I think that Val wants to do the exact opposite, and she doesn't want to jump in, and she wants to wait, and she wants to make sure, but I don't know. It's just,
yeah, I definitely get what you're saying about Johnny and Bao. if he's getting the friend vibe from her, he's getting the sister vibe from her. Because it seems like he's getting that now because he's tried to be intimate, he's tried to take things step by step, and she is basically shutting it down, or at least shutting it down for him because she's been turning him off with her responses. So I think it might change the way he views her, or maybe it'll just be horrible and he'll think even more that she's a friend. But I
Or just a
get
little bit
what
more
you're saying.
intimacy. Yeah, just even if it's not just true like straight sex, just a little bit more intimacy
Right.
on
But
that level.
he did say at the guy sit down, I don't know if he said she said she's been making advances or she's been making advances and I'm the one that's been turning it down. Like I noticed that comment this episode. So I'm like, when did this happen? Because it's been seeming like it's been the opposite.
Right. And I think that now she's really trying, but after, like, she didn't even understand. I mean, it even started at the pillow in the center. That was her suggestion. He was saying, no, I don't want the pillow. Like the misunderstandings, the miscommunications, the kid talk, the snoring, not just like he said, she's just sucking the life out of everything. He wants to like enjoy himself, and he's not enjoying this process. So I
Right.
think that that's a turnoff to him. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, this woman needs to give herself over to him, but she just needs to show a different side of herself. Same thing with Brett. If Brett keeps being this, like, I think he's looking at it as uptight, and she's not uptight because she's like a, a more relaxed person. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do, but they at least came. Well, no, they were during the honeymoon. I don't think it was the last day of the honeymoon. We were talking about that last week with Rachel and Jose. I think it was during the honeymoon sometime. Hmm. I think this is it. I think now the show is heating up. At the beginning, I was like, oh gosh. But yes, now it's heating up.
It kind of slowed down with this episode. Hopefully it'll spice back. I didn't even take no notes on this
I
episode.
didn't
I was
either.
like, there's nothing really here.
I didn't either. Yes. Yeah. It was a lot, but it wasn't. It was a lot, meaning
Oh.
with the right couples gave a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I don't have anything else. What do you have? We've got a lot going on though.
Right. But but first, make sure you guys are subscribed to both of our channels. Make sure you like the live. We thank you guys for tuning in. We will be doing an After Dark series, CMK After Dark. It will be me, Crystal Lynette, and Kia Simone. That will be tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be talking about the struggle love narrative and kind of like this idea that as women we're supposed to struggle in the relationship and prove ourselves in order to have love.
Yes, and also stay tuned because Misha's got a lot of shows coming. Kia's got her own shows coming, and I also have about 2 shows coming this season. This month, I'm going to be talking about the challenge of forgiveness and colorism. Misha's got a lot of great shows coming. She's going to be doing some more reviews, but CMK After Dark is premiering tomorrow night. Actually, it's going to be
Yes.
huge. It's going to be a lot of fun. Miss Kia Simone loves to bring it, so we're going to have some heat. Please subscribe to Crystal Lynette on YouTube if you haven't already, and please subscribe to Misha Allen on YouTube. Thank you so much.